Eugene.
Portions of this show are recorded. Strap in and be prepared.
I'm just going to say go to lunch and tell the boss, I'm coming down with something. And then head out to the ballpark for happy hour.
Coming down with duck fever.
Or beaver fever.
Whichever one.
Interesting guests.
Kelly Graves,
Mike Parker, Coach Mark Waskowski, Melissa Lombardi.
always happy to talk to the great Scopeldamus, Eric Scopel.
Sharp opinions.
This isn't last year. Version 8 is going to be different than version 7, which is different than version 6.
And some smiles.
Also, Dominic Hellman, 2 home runs this weekend.
Mayo.
Yeah, or Hellboy, either one.
The other one. We're going to see which one sticks. We're going to ask him.
Okay.
It's Danny Havel.
I had security on me, immediately. Give us your phone. You can't be filming it. What are you going to glean from filming people bowling right now?
Justin Grossweiler.
Okay, the 6 and 7-year-olds, I got them. I could beat them in a race.
Danny and Justin starts now on Fox Sports Eugene and Fox Sports Newport.
Hello, neighbors, and welcome high atop the Delta Triad, the Crystal Palace. We've made it to Freaky Friday, live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. This is the Danny and Justin radio program, Fox Sports Eugene, Fox Sports Newport. Thanks, friends, for lending us your ears for the next hour as you hopefully get away from work a little early today. There's a lot to do here in Eugene, and we're going to cover some of it for you with our little radio program. We've got big bets coming up, the last part of the show. We've got Travis Demers, the mayor of Rip City. For the first time, we're going to have a bookend guest. We start off the week with Travis. We're going to end the week with Travis. Also, the big kahuna, Kelly Graves. Big signings for the Ducks women's basketball program. We'll have the coach. We'll talk about how the offseason process is going for Oregon women's basketball, trying to ascend, keep ascending, keep climbing up the rungs on the ladder in the Big Ten and the national picture. And we've got softball. We've got Oregon baseball away. We'll give you an update on that. But for now, I'm Doc. Danny, you can follow us on the Twitter and the Blue Sky, Danny and Justin, also wherever you podcast, Danny and Justin. And right over there, you heard his name a couple of times. Always like to introduce him this way. He's number 10 in your program, number 1 in your hearts. It's Justin Grossweiler. We call him Baby J. Ooh, what a boy.
Well, we are wearing such drastically different attire. I am freezing today and basically wearing one layer short of what I wear up in Alaska.
And
you are wearing shorts and a baseball jersey.
And I'm perfectly comfortable.
And you feel like pretty good right now, apparently.
I'm a lizard. I'm warm-blooded.
Yeah, I'm freezing. Lizards are not warm-blooded, by the way.
It is a little... They aren't?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought they were. I
no,
thought,
they
like,
need
lizards...
a heating lamp.
Okay. Okay. So that was really bad
the opposite
analogy
of what you
there.
said,
So
actually.
the opposite of that. I am warm-blooded. I'm not... there's no goosebumps here or anything else. I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, well, I'm happy for you.
Listen.
I'm bundled up. Hopefully, if you're listening out there, you're not bundled up. It's actually not too bad today.
Oh, outside it's not.
Yeah.
It's actually colder here in the studios.
100%.
This is like a surgical room.
Yeah.
You've had surgery before.
No.
You haven't?
No, very lucky. Oh, well, okay, does getting my wisdom teeth out count?
No, it does not.
I've never had any real surgery.
No, I've had
Never
surgery.
broken a bone.
Unfortunately, I've had too many surgeries to count, but they always keep the operating theater, as they call it, like it's cold. It is brutal cold in
And
there.
that's for like the human body, right?
Right. It helps with infection. It helps with the process. I don't know why all of the things. I'm not a doctor. But even when I went for my, everybody loves this. When you get to be 50, you get to love this. Man.
Colonoscopy?
The colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby. That's the most embarrassing thing ever. But, you know what? It's always
Everybody's
cold.
got to do it.
Yeah, and you should. And by the way,
Yeah.
you should. Especially if you're at risk, go out and get your colonoscopy. Do not skip that. So we're not talking about that today, though. But we got a lot. This is a good show, man. We got a lot to go.
It's
We are
a fast 60 minutes today.
all right. Travis Demers coming up here in just a few moments. Kelly Graves as well. Really looking forward to talking to both of them. Of course, we had Chris Burkhart on earlier this week. We had Travis before the game that was going to happen down in Phoenix. So, and it was just like, you know what? I think we need to get Travis back on because
it was time.
The game is Sunday, and so, I think that's appropriate. We're going to talk baseball. By the way, Oregon baseball is leading now Illinois in the top of the second, 3-2. Both teams scored 2 runs in the first inning, but Oregon's now up in the second, top of the second, 1 on, 2 out, 3-2 over Illinois. This is a big series for Mark Wasikowski's team. Oregon women's softball, you heard from Melissa Lombardi yesterday. They've got a huge weekend, 6 p.m. at the Jane. They just released a few more GA tickets so you can get out there at the Bob, make it the Lion's Den, as Melissa referenced on the program yesterday. Get out there for Washington, Oregon softball. That's out at the Jane. But first, let's head on over to the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline and welcome in our good friend. It is the mayor of Rip City, Travis Demers. You can hear him right here on Fox Sports Eugene with the broadcast. So, Travis, how long did it take for you to wind down from the high of that win down there in the Valley of the Sun?
It's a tough question because you look at where this team is right now and where they were supposed to be and who thought there would be this and all the expectations, right? And then everything that happened and the fact that they're in the playoffs and they're the 7th seed. It's like, how do you measure that? How do you measure how that feels? And I didn't really get to see too many of the players after the game the other night because I got to do the post-game show, and then they're back in the locker room. And, I saw, Joe Cronin after the game, and the look on his face said everything. The coaches, everybody just had this feeling of satisfaction because, the playoffs are on the horizon. The job isn't done yet. Mm-hmm. But to be in this point, the regular season is over. The play-in is over. All of that stuff that, this is an opportunity to actually take a moment and enjoy it when you haven't been able to do that at all because you're so focused on what's next. And I'm not saying in any way that they're not focused on what's next.
Right.
But this is an opportunity to really
savor,
to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that there aren't many of those where you get an opportunity like that and you still have games to play.
Well, you and I spoke at length the other day, and I think it was probably pervasive in, unfortunately, Portland fandom over the last few years, is there's going to be a way where the Blazers are going to find a way to screw this up. Down by 11, it's it just put a fork in them. They're done. Then they're going to end up losing the next game, then they're going to be out. But this was a page turner. This was, closing that chapter and saying, you know what, this team has resilience. This team has fight. This team has fire. And I think it starts with Denny Advia, but it's not just him, though. It's Drew Holiday bringing that presence. It's going to Jeremy Grant and others that are, and the young guys with Shaden and Scoot, learning and taking a hold of the moment. So I would like to have your outlook on that, is that this is closing a chapter and opening up a brand new one.
It is, because to your point exactly, we've seen so many games where the Blazers had a lead and it disappeared, and you just had this I don't want to say this impending doom feeling, but you weren't confident that they were going to get the job done. And it's not a knock on anybody. It's just how things have been for the last few years. Mm-hmm. In the last couple of weeks, that's changed. I mean, the Clippers, you've only beaten twice in the last 7 years. You beat them in back-to-back games. And then you go in with a big lead, 14-point lead. It disappears. You're down 11 in the fourth quarter, and you find a way to win. Getting the job done and knowing that you have somebody, whether it's Denny Avdia, Drew Holiday, like you mentioned, Jeremy Grant coming up with big shots, Shaden Sharp, Scoot Henderson, all of these guys came up with game-winning plays, right? And to have that happen, it just hasn't happened in so long that, that you were waiting for bad things to happen for so long, and now they're not. Now it's the opposite. Now it's like you're expecting to get the job done because they've done that. And now you're going to do a really tough playoff matchup. But in the really important games that have mattered, they've figured it out. They've won. Yes, the game in Denver sucked. You got the 19-point lead. You lose that game. You haven't won there forever. But that's a team that is a championship caliber team. That can absolutely happen. The Dallas game was disappointing, but they've only lost 1 or 2 games in the calendar year to teams that are below 500. The things that they have not been able to do in the past, they are doing now.
And now you've got the Spurs, and of course, this is a team that went 62-20, first in their division. They pushed the Oklahoma City Thunder for the number one seed at one point in the season. And of course, they've got Victor Wembanyama, and I want to ask you in a second about a specific aspect about his game that I think will be interesting with the Blazers. But with the limited experience of this San Antonio Spurs team in the playoffs, similarly to the Blazers, could a guy like De'Aaron Fox, who has, albeit a limited amount of experience, but a really great 7-game series a couple of years ago against the Warriors, so he's got experience, he's one of the lead guys for this team, could he be the guy that could be the tipping point for the Spurs in this series?
Hey, he could be because he's really good, but I don't think that playoff experience has a whole lot to do with it. You know, I look at both of these teams, and while a good chunk of the team hasn't had that kind of run, they have veterans who have been there, right? And we've talked about this. Drew Holiday's won a couple of championships. Robert Williams III has played in the finals. Thiago Splitters won a championship as a player. Nate Bjorkgren won a championship as an assistant coach in Toronto. So there is some of that leadership there. I think the guy that is really important for this Spurs team in that regard is Harrison Barnes. You know, he's been in the league for a long time, won a championship with Golden State. You know, he has been around and has seen a lot of things. And while the core of this team does not have a lot of postseason experience, it's a championship organization. And there are guys around, right? Sean Elliott is around this team. He does TV. I don't know how much he's going to be around right now, but you know, we've seen a number of guys come through. Obviously, Tim Duncan is, you know, the gold pass to come through and talk to guys. Mitch Johnson, former University of Portland assistant, by the way, who is not been around for those Spurs championships, he still comes from that pop school, and you can see it the way he coaches, the way he uses his timeouts and things like that. And I don't think in this era having that postseason experience early in the playoffs matters as much, right? Because in the old days, it used to be, you know, whether it was the Bulls or the Pistons or whoever it was, you had to get through a couple of losses before you could win big, right? And there have been a couple of teams who didn't go through that even back then. You know, Orlando is a very young team, went to the NBA Finals, and we all know what happened there. But I don't think in this era of basketball it matters as much, because one of the things about the 80s and early 90s that you needed to have that experience was as a team, and those teams together figuring it out together. Teams aren't built like that anymore. So I don't think that matters. And earlier in the playoffs, especially when your opponent doesn't have a lot of postseason experience, yes, the games are different. They're officiated differently. They're played differently, all of that stuff. But I don't think that has as big of an effect until you get deeper into the postseason, conference finals, things like that. You know, by that logic, from, you know, the 80s and 90s, Minnesota would be in the NBA Finals this year. And maybe they will be. I don't know. But they have a big task ahead of them. So I think there are absolutely veterans on both teams that have that experience about them. And I think De'Aaron Fox is a huge factor in this series. I just don't think it's because of the one playoff series he had a couple of years ago.
Well, I appreciate you bringing it back to De'Aaron Fox there. There is only one Victor Wembanyama. We've never seen a guy like him before, and we haven't seen him against the Blazers
not
this season
this year.
either. So I think one interesting aspect to me is that the thing that stood out to me about Denny, not just the fact that he was taking over that game against the Suns, but it was the fact that he was going so hard to the rim relentlessly, and if he didn't get past guys, then he was getting fouled by them. So to me, I'm looking at Victor Wembanyama, a guy that literally guys will turn away from and not even attempt to take shots because he's so dynamic on defense. How much of this series, in your opinion, is going to come down to Denny going hard toward the rim and whether or not he can do that and be effective with Wembanyama waiting for him down there?
Well, I think you look at what Phoenix did down the stretch of that game defensively, and you scratch your head because they really didn't have a rim protector on the floor. And I think that's a big reason why Denny had the confidence, not that he doesn't have confidence, but you know, the confidence to go to the rim knowing that rim protector wasn't there. And the guys who were defending him and defending the paint, that's not their bread and butter. it's going to be a different story against Wemby. Now, he can't play 48 minutes, obviously. I don't know how many minutes he's going to be able to play. He's had some injury issues. How are his ribs? You can't really factor in those things until you see. But I think having Wemby on the floor, to your point, like that is such a huge point that, yeah, he blocked so many shots, but the way that he alters shots just by existing and changing what teams do. Like the Blazers drive a lot. Denny drives a lot. You can't do it the same way against the Spurs because Wemby's presence changes everything. Even if you have great ball movement and you drive and, pass to a cutter who gets to the rim, all Wemby has to do is like slightly move and his arm covers 80% of the paint because he's so big. So you can't even do those things against him. So I think you're going to see a lot of drives and kicks. And, yeah, Denny played in 65 games this year, but Denny Avdija to Toumani Camara was the number 3 assist combination on three-pointers made in the NBA this season. That drive and kick is so deadly, and this team wants paint touches to get the ball inside out. So they're going to have to shoot the three ball well. That is going to be a critical part of this series. And then when Wemby's off the floor, take advantage of that. You're not going to get him into foul trouble. I mean, it'd be nice if he did. But, whatever it is, the 18 minutes, maybe he plays more in the postseason. This is his first postseason series. So is he going to play 36 minutes a night? Is he going to play 28 minutes a night? You got to take advantage of the minutes when he is off the floor because, yeah, Luke Cornett can play center. Mason Plumlee can play center, but they're nowhere near the presence that Wemby is. So I just think it alters so much of the way you approach things.
Follow the mayor of Rip City at Travis Demers on the socials, and also tune in to the Section 113 podcast as he hosts that with Chad Doing. It's a great listen as we've got a couple more questions for you, Travis, before we let you go. There's always been talk of a team like Portland who was not expected to be in this position, to be playing with house money, playing loose, playing free. But for the Blazers, it might not be the best thing to play loose and free. You have to have some of that discipline because there's a tipping point where it's like, you know what, you play too loose, then you start making mistakes. The Blazers have gotten to this point through grit and determination. So speak to that in this series and how that might play out in front of the Spurs.
Yeah, your point makes a ton of sense. But I think in this particular case, it's the opposite because we've seen a lot of times this year, especially, early and middle part of the season where, they would tighten up because they're playing not to make mistakes. And I think we saw that at times with some of the young guys that playing not to make mistakes and stay on the floor leads to more mistakes. And what I saw from this Blazers team before the game in Phoenix, that's as loose as I've seen them all year. Okay. And I think that for this team, playing that way, loose doesn't mean, loose and free and, being all willy-nilly with the ball.
Undisciplined.
Yeah, exactly. It's a much better word than willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly is a more fun word.
I like that word, though. That's a great word.
Yeah. But... No, I'm sorry. Now I'm thinking of Super Troopers. But for this team, playing loose is when they play their best ball, right? Because now they're not tight, and they're going to make some mistakes, but they're not going to be the playing not to lose is and not to make mistakes is where they make the most mistakes. So I think that angle of things is really important, and if you want this team to have a chance to really surprise some people, playing loose and free is going to be the way to do it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see it unfold. Sunday, Travis Demers will be on the call. You can hear it right here on Fox Sports Eugene. Buddy, have a great series. Enjoy, soak it up. Like I said, savor the moment. It's been a while, so enjoy it.
That is the plan. Every day we show up, get to pinch yourself and say, I get to do this. In the postseason, there's nothing like it.
All right, brother. Be good. Talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
It's always good to talk to the mayor of Rip City.
The best.
He is our mayor. So Oregon and Illinois are locked in a 3-3 tie right now. In the top of the third inning, Oregon at the plate. So we'll keep watching that for you throughout the program. Up next, it is the Big Kahuna. It's Kelly Graves, Oregon women's basketball. We'll talk the offseason with the head coach next on the Danny and Justin radio program for Friday. Last segment of the program, it's Big Bets, presented by Coquel Casino and Resort. Goose, Baby J, and I will pick games. Then we're going to get you on the phone and let you pick against us. If you win, you get a 2-night stay with $100 on your player's card. You can't use it for sports betting, but you get $100 on your player's card. And you also get put in a nice drawing. If we win, the hosts, then it's $100 to South Coast Special Olympics. It's a win-win all the way around. We'll do that in the last segment. Let's head on over to the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline as we race through this Friday live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. And it is the Big Kahuna. It's Kelly Graves joining us. Coach, it's just as busy in the offseason as it is during the season, isn't it?
Well, I've always found it busier, quite frankly. During the season, I say no a lot. In terms of people want this and they want that, and I keep my focus on the basketball team. Practices, games, game preparation.
Yeah.
It's the off season now. You got to catch up and do everything else, including, of course, right now, heavy recruiting. And, so you're kind of running everywhere, for sure.
So you re-recruit the kids that you already have, and then you go out and say, okay, where do I need to fill in? And so how's that process going for you, Jody, Jerice, and Trey, and the entire staff?
Well, it's going well. We picked up we got a nice get yesterday. We made it official yesterday, a transfer that I think will fill a lot of roles for us, roles similar to what Mia Jacobs did this year. Somebody who's she's got a lot more strength and a little tougher.
And another Aussie, Hillary Fuller. That's great.
Exactly. Yes. Another Aussie. I love those Aussies, man. They're always tough, and she's got a versatile skill set. We're really excited about that. And she'll have 2 years left, so it's not just a 1-year deal. And then, of course, we finally made it official today. KK Holman, who I think had committed by the time we talked last time, but we couldn't talk about it.
Right.
An excellent point guard out of, and she's a high school player out of Indiana, and I think she's just going to be a great get for us. She had signed at Florida. Florida lost their coach, and so she got out of her letter of intent, and then signed here, and we're really excited about her. I think she's gonna really push Katie every day, especially in practice. Tough as nails, gets into you, defends really well.
Nice.
And she's got some length to her. So I think that's going to be a really good pickup for us. And then we're still searching for one or two more in the portal. But, right now we've got a roster of 12, and that's probably pretty perfect size-wise. But, I think we still need to add a little bit more height. That's where, I think we still need some help.
All right, that's where the focus is. Coach Kelly Graves joining us on the Danny and Justin radio program here on a Fast Friday as we race through the program. And, Coach, for you, I think it's a credit to you and your staff, and I'm going to wind this back to Hillary Fuller. She never even came and visited. She just said after talking to the staff and understanding what you had in terms of a vision for a role and stuff, she's like, yeah, I'm in. I mean, that's not common. I mean, a player wants to come see the facilities and get a feel with the other players and all of that. So, I mean, did that kind of floor you a little bit?
Well, it did, but that's how this portal thing works. I mean, the portal opened on a Monday, right? The day after the final championship game.
Right.
And there were kids committing on that Monday. Mm-hmm. Well, they hadn't visited, these other places. But there's so much information out there with a push of a couple of buttons. They can watch all of our games, on an app called Synergy, right? They can get all of our games. You can just do a lot now. Plus, here was the main thing, and this is what's happening a lot. Kids spend a couple of years deciding where they want to play, where they want to go to school. It's a huge decision.
Right.
Well, when they transfer, sometimes those decisions are made in a matter of days. And it moves so fast. And I think one of the things that in Hillary's case was, well, she, because of academics, she's a really good student at a great school. She couldn't get out here, but also didn't want to give up a great opportunity, knowing that in 2 weeks, that scholarship might be gone.
Wow.
And so if there's a place you really want to go to, and, and Oregon's one of those destination spots, right? There's a lot of people grow up, they want to go to Oregon. That's their dream school. I hear it all the time. And so when that happens, and you have the opportunity, you're gonna take it. And hopefully she'll be able to come out on a visit here soon before she heads home. And but I think she's gonna see what most kids see when they get here. It's an amazing place. We've got an awesome team, great teammates, and a coaching staff that's gonna really love on them, and make them feel comfortable.
In terms of your roster construction, Hillary is more of a forward, but in terms of your guards, can you ever have too many guards?
Well, you can't. You never know when you have injuries, right? We thought we had a loaded back court last year, especially at the point, and then Elisa Mevius goes down second game of the year. And now suddenly you're putting it on the shoulders of Katie Fiso, an unproven sophomore, didn't play much as a freshman. Now, in Katie's case, she had an incredible year and is now one of the nation's best point guards. But you just never know what's going to happen. So, you've got to have every base covered. You've got to get inside players. We were exposed during the Texas game. They were just bigger and stronger and more physical than we were inside, and just kind of manhandled us there, right? And so you definitely have to have some size, and we've got some size coming.
Yeah.
But yes, college basketball is a game of guards. You got to have great guard play.
Yeah, see, I just lost that bet to Justin because I said there's only one basketball, and I don't know if you can have too many guards. But I'm going to defer to you, Coach, because you're the expert. So great answer to that question.
Hey, you guys, back when I got my first head job, Division I was St. Mary's College back in 1997.
Okay.
Before most of your listeners were even born, for crying out loud. But I do one of my first home visits, somebody we had recruited at my former school. And I went and did a home visit back when you did more of those home visits. She was from Chico, and I'm there, and the dad, and his daughter was a big kid, big, strong lefty. And he said, now, Coach, he said, Kelly, you got your own team now. Where do you need to start, in recruiting? How are you going to build your team? And I wasn't very bright. I should have said, with your daughter, I'm starting with your daughter. That's why I'm here. But I said, hey, we got to get good guards. I thought he was going to punch me. His face got all red. His neck, the veins started, bursting. And he goes, you want to start in the middle. And it went off. And needless to say, she did not come to my school, and had a decent career. But, man, you got to be careful. But I believe you got to have great guards. That's where it starts.
Okay, well, you got that baseline kind of covered. So now, you just kind of alluded to it, but is there an advantage to getting this kind of process finished so you know what you're going to have in the ingredients? You know the players that, decided they wanted to go somewhere else, and now you're bringing in the players. You've got players that you went out and recruited out of the high school level. With Brooklyn and others. You've got some really good talent coming in that are going to be freshmen. So is there an advantage to getting this process closed as quickly as possible for you?
Not really.
Okay.
Peace of mind, I guess that matters. But you still want to get the best player. And we've gotten good players late in the summer. I remember Deja Kelly, just 2 years ago, she didn't commit until well into May, and so even though the portal closes, I think on Monday or Sunday of this week, that doesn't mean they have to have decided where they're going. They just have to, their intentions have to be known. If they're going in the portal, they have to do it by that day.
Okay.
But they can sign anytime. So, you want to wrap it up as quickly as you can so you can start planning for when they get here, which isn't far away. It's in the summer. But there's still a lot to do outside of, the portal. our team just started our workouts.
Yeah, saw that
on Monday, and we're full go on those 7 players. I'm telling you, I think it's been our best spring group in several years, probably since Sabrina's group.
Wow.
We have no dead weight. We have 7 really good players, all impactful, all played a lot, and it makes our workouts really fun and really competitive.
When it comes to the off-season training, how much of that process is athletes coming to you saying what they want to work on versus the coaches coming to the players with a plan?
Well, we're in what we call our 8-hour weeks. So we have a time limit. We can't just work them out 20 hours a week like we can during the season, right?
Yeah.
And so the 8 hours, no more than 4 can be on the basketball court. So what we do is we have like 2 45-minute individual skill sessions, 2 45-minute kind of group sessions by their positions or with the entire group, and then we watch them play for an hour. See, we can't watch them play necessarily unless it comes out of that 4 hours. And then there's 4 hours in the weight room, strength and conditioning. So that's their 8 hours. And none of that outside of the 1 hour is like open gym play. So they do that on their own about 3 nights a week. And we can't be there for those. We can't even organize them. You know, they do that on their own. So that's the extent of it. So we're not, you know, they have a lot of free time now. It's not like a job like, you know, sometimes it feels like during the season. So there's rules set by the NCAA. 4 hours on the court, 4 hours in the weight room, that's it.
So do you feel pretty good, Coach, with what you've already been able to sign and what the prospects are? I know you got some more players in that you're talking to, and we appreciate the time that you're giving us because it's finite. But you feel pretty good?
I do. Yeah, we have 2 here on campus today, for the next couple days. I do. You guys were in a really good spot. You know, we're coming off a nice season.
Yeah.
We're expecting more. I think the expectations are high. I think we're showing up in a lot of preseason top 25. You know, we're going to have that kind of
top
attention.
15. Top 15,
top
Coach.
10. We have a top 10 recruiting class. I think the latest was number 8. So we have 4, you know, really good freshmen coming in. I think we're just in a really nice spot right now. Kids coming back they're enthusiastic, they're experienced, they're working hard. They've gotten a taste, you know, of some success in the NCAA tournament and the Big Ten tournament. Now they're ready to take that next step. And we've got a couple of stars, you know, in Ehis and Katie. And so, yeah, I think things are going really well right now, and we just want to, you know, continue to work hard and finish this recruiting up, and we know who we have in our team, and then let's go, man. Let's go. They'll all start showing up mid-July, and that's when we start, forming that team that we're going to see next November.
I love it, Coach. Well, I know the golf game suffers a little bit at this time of the year, but you got plenty of time in the spring and the summer to work on it. So I know you've got your focus right where it needs to be. So, again, we really do apprappreciate the time you give us. And I tell you,
I'm never going to say no to you guys. I like your show. I like your vibe, and I really appreciate the support you give for us. I know it's not your job to support us or promote us, but I do really appreciate that. I want you to know.
Well, we appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, Coach, go get them. We'll talk soon.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Yep, you bet. There he goes, the big kahuna, Kelly Graves. Man, I'll tell you what. If you're a parent sitting in a room with that guy, how are you not going to say yes to him? Seriously.
I completely agree. You just got a wonderful personality to talk to, honestly.
Yeah,
always enjoy it.
Smart, man, I'll tell you what. I wish my daughter played basketball. You know, it's been awesome. All right, we come back. Big bets. You love it. You've been waiting for it. And you can hop on the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 541-343-5673 and bet against us. But we're going to give our picks first. Myself, Goose, Baby J. We're going to have Dom and Laura's picks in here as well. The coin. You can bet against us coming up on the Danny and Justin radio program for a Friday.
These guys think they know sports.
You think you're better than me?
The winners, the losers. Let's put their knowledge to the test.
Prove it.
It's time for Big Bets, presented by Coquel Casino Resort.
Get yourselves ready on the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 541-343-5673. We're going to pick our games first. Here's how it works. Coquel Casino and Resort sponsors our Big Bet segment. If you beat us and you win the tiebreaker, if that comes into play, you win a 2-night stay at Coquel Casino Resort, and you get your name entered into a drawing for a big prize at the end we still haven't determined. If we win, $100 to South Coast Special Olympics from you, the listeners, through Coquel Casino and Resort. So everybody wins. So coming off a sparkling week where none of us were over 500.
Baseball.
Baseball's hard, man. Baseball's hard.
I'm Doc. Right over there's Baby J. Goose is in for this segment as he makes an appearance after a sparkling 1-4 week last week. But Baby J and I are just one game ahead of you. Baby J won the tiebreaker, so he won it for the hosts.
I felt
week.
really good about my tiebreaker.
You did
points.
very well. You were like 3 points off on the tiebreaker.
Yep, felt
so
really good about it.
Let's watch it. So you're going to do the tiebreaker first this week, okay?
I think I was second last time, so that's not a problem.
Goose, you pick the games. You want to start us out then? Charlotte and Orlando. There's all NBA this week. No Major League Baseball. Goose's aversion to Major League Baseball now after last week.
Yes. This is one of those I'm going, everybody is on Charlotte. It's like Orlando's quit. Charlotte's good. It's all Charlotte. I say this is Orlando's last stand. The Magic at home buck up and knock out LaMelo, the Tripper, and the Hornets. Give me the Magic.
See, I'm going Magic as well.
Okay.
So what? Oh, Baby J
This is great.
is loving it.
This played out great for me.
So I just tell you, Baby J's picking Charlotte.
Of course, yeah. I'm picking the team that's gonna win. Have you guys watched basketball recently?
Wow. All right. So this is a very interesting game. It's basically an elimination game. Golden State and Phoenix. Phoenix smarting after the Blazers took them down at home. Golden State set aside Kawhi and the Clippers. So can Golden State pull off another upset? Mini upset? Baby State? Baby J, we start with you. Baby State.
Baby State University. It's interesting because this comes down to, was it the Clippers that just did a Clipper thing, or was it really the Warriors, who I think might have a better roster than their record indicates because of Kristaps Porzingis finally healthy, Al Horford, he's been around forever, Steph Curry's back. I'm going to take the Warriors in an upset. They will make the playoffs.
I don't think that Steph Curry, with his current health, can do it 2 games in a row. I think Phoenix feels like they should have beaten the Blazers. I give me the Suns.
All right, so this is where I was conflicted, but I had already circled the Warriors, so I'm gonna stay with that. So you're on Sun Island.
That's a good place to be. I like a sunny island.
The Danny, Justin, and Goose program here on Big Bets. Get ready with your picks at 541-343-5673. That's the Oregon Man Clinics hotline. We'll get to you in a second. All right, let's head to the East and into the Midwest. Atlanta, New York. These are all Saturday games in the NBA. So Atlanta, New York, I will start, and I know it's probably not the popular pick, but I'm going to take them anyway. I'm taking the Knicks. Baby J.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Knicks here. I like Atlanta. I like New York more. I think Jalen Brunson's got something to prove. So I'm going to take the Knicks here.
Atlanta is an upset pick to potentially win the series, but even if they do that, I think the Knicks get game 1, and then maybe Atlanta gets game 2 going home. But give me the Knicks in game 1.
All right, so we're all agreed on New York. So let's go Denver, Minnesota. This one's intriguing as well. Joker can take over a game. Minnesota is a lot of people's dark horse pick as well, that like they could rise like a phoenix. I'm going to start with this, but I'm going to go with the Nuggets. Goose.
I went to Jesuit High School. The head coach of the Denver Nuggets, David Adelman, went to Jesuit High School. Go Crusaders. Give me the Nuggets.
Baby J,
well,
you going to break the tie?
I also think the Nuggets are going to win is the problem. So I'm also going to take the Nuggets.
All right, so we're all agreed on that. Well, not a lot of controversy, but we do have a couple of disparate picks in here as well. I hope I'm using that word correctly. Houston and L.A., the Lakers, are our last game. This is also the tiebreaker game. So, Baby J, you get the honor of the first pick and the tiebreaker.
This one's tough for me because my anti-Lakers bias is telling me that Houston is going to win. And everything I've experienced whenever I've said that has been the Lakers have played better than I thought. That being said, they are banged up.
Yeah, Luka's not. I mean, they still don't even know if he's going to play in the first game.
I'm really excited for the DeAndre Ayton and Clint Capella storyline that's going to come around. Those two guys do not like each other. I got to go with the Rockets here. I know there's a lot going on with them, but I'm going to go with the Rockets. I know they're on the road here, but I will take the total points. I'm going to go lower than the total. The
line is 207.5.
So I'm going to go with 203.
Yeah, he was pretty good last week. All right, Goose, you want me to go? And
Go
then
for it.
you?
Go
All
for
right.
it.
I got to take Houston. I'm taking the Planet Houston just because I always love saying the Planet Houston out of Superman trilogy. So I'm going to go a little over, though. I'm going to go 5 points over the line. So I'm going to go 212 with the tiebreaker.
Okay. I think arrested LeBron in Game 1. The Lakers win on the strength of LeBron. I don't think the rest of the series, unless he gets some help from Luka and Reeves back, that they can win the series. But I think we're going to see LeBron come out, take it to Kevin Durant in the first game. So give me them here. Give me, but with the lack of firepower on either team shooting-wise, I'll go with 192.
See, I don't hate that, honestly. Houston's going to win. Houston's going to win low scoring. And the Lakers, if they win, I think it's going to be a tight one. So I don't hate it.
So if they're like 80 points between the two teams in the first quarter, you guys are toast.
Yes.
Just going to tell you right now.
But if there's 40, then we're good.
All right. Good picks, boys. Now it's your turn. The Oregon Mac Clinics hotline is open for you right now. 541-343-5673. Your opportunity to win a 2-night stay with $100 on your player's card. Got to be 21 or over. From Coquel Casino and Resort. And believe me, right now, the weather is fantastic on the coast. So you might want to jump on in. You've heard our picks. You hop on. We're not going to shame you. We actually respect our listeners to a point where it almost becomes, oh, gosh, really? So we didn't disagree on too many games, so we do have some disagreements. So the Orlando-Charlotte game, you're taking Charlotte. Goose and I have Orlando. By the way, Goose had to take off. He's rolling down the hallway right now. I think he's actually heading to the coast with his family. So he's heading to the sunshine. We've had some sunshine here. So let me give you Laura and Dom's picks, by the way. Laura has got Charlotte, Golden State, Atlanta, Minnesota, and L.A., and she's got the over-under at 197 on the Houston-L.A. game. Dom, who's done pretty well in this little contest.
And the NBA is his wheelhouse.
It is. He's got Charlotte, Golden State, the Knicks, Denver, and Houston.
He has the same as me.
Well, and he and I are the only game we're different on is the Orlando-Charlotte game. So, and he's got the over-under at 198.
So that's the same for you and I then, I guess.
Yeah.
Orlando-Charlotte?
Yeah. So you have Charlotte, I have Orlando. So, yeah, we picked the same game. There wasn't a whole lot of division. It was right at the top. The first two games were the only ones we disagreed on as a group.
Yeah.
So, again, the Oregon Mad Clinics hotline at 541-343-5673. If you want to hop in, we've got like 4 minutes if you want to jump in. By the way, Oregon, Illinois, baseball, we are in the top of the fourth. Oregon is up 8-3 on a Milwaukee 3-run home run, a big third inning where the Ducks score 5 runs. And so now they're up by 5. They've wrapped out 10 hits. They're batting in the top of the fourth with 1 out and 2 on.
We've got Andrew from Cottage Grove.
Andrew! I think this is a first-time caller.
Yes, it is.
To the program. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Long-time listener. Finally want to jump on and see if I can take you guys on and maybe win.
Let's
go.
He's going to take us to school. Here we go. You ready, buddy?
I'm ready.
All right, Charlotte, Orlando.
Orlando.
Okay. Golden State, Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I hear some hesitation in your voice. Are you not sure about it?
It's hard to
See?
go
Yeah,
against
you're
Steph
conflicted.
Curry.
I agree.
can hear.
I agree.
Atlanta, New York.
New York.
Okay. Good pick. Minnesota, Denver.
I'm going to shake the boat and go Minnesota.
That's a good pick. That's a really solid pick.
Going against the grain there. Houston and the Lakers, and I want total points.
I'm going to go Lakers in 201.
201. Okay, the coin also picked 201, but that's fine.
That's fine. The coin
coin's
doesn't
the
count.
inanimate object. Andrew, we really appreciate you listening to the program, man. Thanks for getting the cojones and calling in.
Appreciate it, and look forward to calling in again soon. Thank
Awesome.
you, guys.
That a
Appreciate
boy.
ya.
Well, appreciate you back. All right, here we go. Andrew's got his pick in just that easy at 541-343-5673, the Oregon Man Clinics hotline. We got time for a couple more. And you can also go to the website. Yeah, we'll put it on the Bigger Bets Twitter account. We'll also put it on our regular Twitter account at Danny and Justin if you want to try and get in before the first games start. We got a couple of games tonight, and then the balance of the games, the 3 games tomorrow, right? Okay.
Yes, the
What are you
3
doing this
games
week?
tomorrow. I'm going to go up to see Mom. Haven't gotten
Okay.
a chance to do that for a few weekends, so excited about that. We're going to watch a lot of television, including The Boys. I know we're going to catch up on 28 Years Later, so a bunch of non-PG things, but yeah, we're going to have a good time.
So how many movies are in the 28 years thing? Because I think we've watched 3. How many are there?
Okay, there's 28 days, there's 28 weeks, there's 28 years number 1, and there's 28 years number 2.
Okay, I don't think we've watched the last one. That might be on our list.
Just came out on Netflix.
Okay, well, that's probably why we haven't watched it. So, all right, we got another caller.
We got Chris from Junction City.
Hey, Chris, sorry. Your boy Goose had to make a quick exit. So he might be driving through Junction City right now. So if you can flag him down at the Viking Inn, do it.
Sounds good. How's it going, fellas?
We're doing
Good,
great.
brother. Thanks for calling back in. Charlotte and Orlando. Let's jump right into it. Who do you like?
With Orlando.
Orlando. A lot of people
The Last
on Orlando. Golden State Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Oh, so are you just picking all the games Goose picks?
I don't know.
Okay, well, you are so far. Atlanta, New York.
New York.
See, you're right in line with Goose. Minnesota, Denver.
You got to go with Jokic.
Okay. You're still right in line with Goose. Houston and L.A., and then I need total points.
Let's go with the old man LeBron and 213.
Oh, really? You're going to Bob Barker me with 213? Dude, not cool. I'm just telling you. I have 212 and you have 213.
Yeah.
No, that was cool.
That was very cool. Chris, thanks, buddy. Always appreciate your support. Thanks for listening to the program, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
There he goes. So we got Andrew and Chris in. I think we got to cut it off.
I think
Yeah.
that's all we've got.
And Laura and Dom. So we have our stable. We've got a couple of listeners in on it. So listen, it's just that easy, folks. Every week we do this on Friday now throughout the rest of the season. And by the way, now Maddox Maloney just doubled Angel Laya and Ryan Cooney's score. And Ducks are now up 11-3 in the top of the 4th over Illinois. So looks like the Ducks are on their way, but let's not count those chickens yet. Big weekend as well, down at the Jane for Oregon softball taking on Washington. 6 p.m. first pitch tonight, and then 3 o'clock tomorrow. 3 o'clock, I believe, on Sunday as well. 60th anniversary of Oregon softball, 10th year at the Jane.
Oh, a joke!
I got fired from the bank today. A woman asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her.
Dad jokes!
See, I'm really still, I'm kind of getting self-conscious after I had Breck Fast and Breck Furious. So
Yeah, you got to find some more like that.
Okay.
Now you know your marching orders.
So did you see they made round bales of hay illegal in Wisconsin?
No.
They made round bales of hay illegal in Wisconsin. It's because the cows weren't getting a square meal.
Okay, I get it. I get it. It took me a second. It took me a second, but I got it now. You gotta get a balanced
trying
breakfast.
to pull the strings on your Wisconsin affiliation, and
It was like I was having to think about the shape of the bale of hay and all that, so it took me a second. Sorry for the
getting
silence
square
there.
meals. No, it's fine. Everybody have a
You
great
should do
weekend.
Breakfast and Furious over and over again.
Just repeat that one every day. Can't do that. Put a smile on your face. Everyone else is around you because they deserve it. So you. For Baby J, for Dom, for everybody here at the station. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Peace.